Hello, it's me again. I'm back.
Hello.
My daughter's over there making fun of me. I won't let her be on the camera because she hasn't had any progress on her cross-stitch project that she showed y'all last time.
Because I've been busy with school trying to
No, she's got her phone back. I told you guys the reason why she was cross-stitching is because she didn't have got her phone taken away, so she had nothing better to do. The minute she got it back, she quit cross-stitching. So I might have to take her phone away from her again. You're not getting on camera. Stay away. Stay away.
I gotta say something.
No.
I haven't been cross-stitching because I'm trying to bring my grades up and pass.
So, how about all the time you spend on your phone, you could be cross-stitching. She's flirting with guys on the phone.
No, I'm not.
Yes, she is.
No, I'm not.
She is so... She has spring break this week. That's why she's here. Now she's doing a happy dance over there. Alright, now be quiet so I can do my video. Alright. I should make you go over there and wash dishes.
No, I'm busy.
Yeah. She's not cross-stitching, though.
I'm doing something that involves getting me a job.
Okay, be quiet now so I can do my video. Alright, anyway. Let me start out with my shout-outs. I only got 4 this week. We have Sandra Lynch, and her video is just an introduction video. She does it on her sun porch, and she didn't bring any of her cross-stitch stuff out, so it's just an introduction. But it's a Flosstube video. Then we have Pinch Creek Stitcher. She's in New York, and she has a beautiful hutch behind. I have a thing for hutches. I have 4 of them. I used to have 5, but the 5th one didn't make the move down with us. I left it with my mom, and now I'll never see it again, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I have a thing for hutches. And my hair is doing a funky thing today, so just ignore it. Then Vicky J is another one. And then Amy Stefan, I think is how you pronounce her name. So those, and I will link them below. Alright, I'll show you the progress. I still haven't finished my snowmen in the month. I should have had this finished days ago. Now, the only thing I do have left to do is all the white in the snowman and then all the letters in the back stitch. Which shouldn't take me but more than today and maybe half a day tomorrow to do. And there's a reason why I haven't finished this yet, and I'll share that with you later on in the video. Alright. Oh, hang on. Before I get too excited. I told y'all I had ordered some stuff from 123 Stitch. Well, I got it in, so let me show y'all what that is. Pull it out of the bag. Maybe if I have the envelope or whatever the hell you want to call it. Maybe I should have done that earlier. But then that would have meant I was prepared. I got this. And it comes with a chart to do it this way and a chart to do it this way. I just love this. I don't know which way I'm going to do it yet. It'd be long doing it this way, but I like this. I don't know which way I'm going to do it yet. But I seen someone enabled me. I forget who did this and posted a photo on the Facebook group. But as soon as I seen it, I had to have it. I know I've seen other ones out there, but this is the one I like so far the best. So I got that. And then I picked up, isn't she pretty? This is part of the Blossom Collector, or the Black Forest Pixies. She's the Blossom Collector. But I saw her and I'm like, oh, how pretty. I had to have her. I'm not too keen on some of the other ones that's come out in this collection. This is, in fact, the only one I bought in this collection so far. But this one I liked. This one I really like. So I got it, and I got all the beads. I don't think I only called for 1 carat water lily, right? Yeah, I only called for 1 carat water lily and 1 thing of Krennic, and I got the beads, so I got those. This isn't the fabric I'm going to stitch on it. This is just a random piece of fabric I bought. So, that's what I got from 123 Stitch. Now, yesterday, me and Molly went to Dessel. No, my daughter's going over there because she went with us as well, and so did Caitlin. Alright, Thistle Needleworks. And this address they got on the bag, that's their old place. They're not there no more. They might want to get new bags. But I picked up some stuff there. And I will show you what I got. Bag's empty. I enjoyed it. I tell you what, we were there for what, about an
hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yeah, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We were there for quite a while. I could have spent all day there because she has buckets, with... Oh, I didn't even touch... I'm going to go again. I don't know when. But we didn't get an early start. We didn't leave here until about 1, and we got there about 2, because it takes about an hour to get there. Maybe 2:30 we got there, I don't know. But I'm going to go one time when the place opens and just sit, because she's got them in buckets, so you can take the buckets and go sit down and then go through all the patterns. And just spend the whole day just going through all the buckets. I got a packet of beads that goes with one of the patterns I bought. And I got a couple of petite treasure braids. Those were just random for nothing in particular. But the rest is patterns. So I'm going to show you this. Okay, I'm going to show you this one first. Because I was so happy to find this one. Because, I don't know, maybe you could have found it online, but I haven't seen it. Now, some people look at this and, some people don't like Raggedy Ann. I showed my husband and he says, I always thought that was an ugly doll. But the reason why I got this is because when I was a little girl, my first doll was a Raggedy Ann doll. And I loved her. Man, she went everywhere with me. And she got lost in a move. Or maybe it wasn't a move. I forget, but she got lost somehow. I don't remember how she got lost, but I lost her. And it wasn't a knockoff Raggedy Ann. It was a authentic Raggedy Ann doll. So that I got that for me. Then I got some patterns that I've been thinking about getting, and then once I saw them in person, I touched them up, picked them up, and hang on. Where's the other one? Oh, first I'm going to show you this one. I've never seen this one, but I thought it was neat. And stitch. It says a noun. I'm going to try to read this back, but I'm not going to read it backwards. One complete movement of a threaded needle through a fabric or material such as to leave behind it a single loop or portion of thread. I just thought that was cute. I don't know. I'm weird that way. But I liked it, so I picked it up. Then I picked up a few country cottage needlework designs. I'm sure y'all have seen this. I forget, someone did this. I forget who did this. But I like that. Red, white, and blue. I love the way the colors pop on that. Then I got cookies and milk. I like that. I want to put it in my kitchen somewhere. And then I know I said not a while back that I was going to quit buying patterns for seasonal patterns. But I picked up autumn. I picked up winter. I picked up spring. Whoops. And I picked up summer. So I guess I'm not done doing seasonal. And then I picked up two mirrors. Two mirror beers. Which one do I want to show first? I'll show this one. I saw this one. This is the first time I've seen this one at it's copyrighted 2012. But isn't? Oh, sorry. I was reading the back. It's called Lady Slipper. I just love her wings and her dress. Isn't she pretty? So. And then I went through the box that had all the mirrors on it. And somehow or another I missed this one. I think I might have, I don't know. But then Molly was going through it and she showed me. I'm like, ooh, let me have that. But I think she is just gorgeous. I love the colors in her dress. I love the way the red apple pops from, in her hair. And it's weird because she's not a fairy or anything. She's just a lady. And I don't particularly go, the ladies are all pretty and everything, but I prefer like the fairies and stuff. But this one, and I never thought I would do one of the ladies, because like I said, they're just a lady. If it's a fairy, it's different. But, this one just caught my attention, and I sit and stared at it for a good 10 minutes. So, don't know when I'm going to do it, but I will definitely do it. And then I'll show you the one, I let my daughter pick one. Of course, I told her that she couldn't start it until she finished her other one. But she picked out her very own pattern, and I'll show it to you. I think she got it because it reminds her so much of our dog Loki.
It's adorable.
Because Loki would do that. He will go out there and grab a stick. Especially when he was a little puppy. He would grab the stick that was like 3 times bigger than he was and try to carry it around the house. So I told her as soon as she's done with the one she's working on now, then she can do that. How about that?
Don't slurp.
Alright. That's the extent of my cross-stitching stuff. Or cross-stitching video. Oh, excuse me, my sinuses are kicking my ass. Alright, now hang on, I'm going through my notes. A lot of people's been doing Tracy's talking tag. And it's a fun tag to do. And every time someone, like, I watched Adele's video the other day, and she's like, we just don't throw toilet paper at people's houses. We don't do that here. It just cracks me up. And then I watched Emily C's video that she did with her husband. And,
What?
They can hear you blowing your nose, you know. That's my daughter blowing her nose in the background, by the way. And they got talking about maybe some sayings and stuff from different. I thought, and when I did Tracy's video, my thought was, well, it would be nice for me to tell them some of the sayings I grew up hearing, and I in turn, my kids hear sometimes. But it's one of these things that, when the moment happens, that comes out of my mouth like that. But to actually sit down and think of, okay, what's some of the sayings that I say that people, that are... And so it took me a while to think of some of them. And I got a whole... And every saying that I wrote down, I have grown up hearing or I've said myself several times. And I think the one I say the most... And I think my daughter knows which one this is.
Can I guess it?
No.
Is it the one? I don't know.
And it's usually and I usually say this when I feel like my kids are trying to BS me on something. Or it sounds like they're trying to BS me on something. I'll look at them and say, if God loved a liar, he'd come down here and hug your neck. Isn't that right, Samantha?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is kind of like a saying tag, so y'all can listen to my sayings, and I'll explain some of them. If y'all have sayings that y'all grew up with and want to you know, put them in your videos, that's fine. But I just thought it'd be fun to tell y'all some of them. Now, there's one saying, I know that in Emily's video, her husband says something about the saying, she's like, or it looks like he was rode hard and put up wet or something like that. That saying can actually have two different meanings. Is that the mail lady?
I'm trying to find a job.
Can actually have two meanings. Now, the way I grew up knowing what the meaning was that
There's one out.
that meant that someone looks exhausted, very tired. Because it comes from back in the days when they had just horses for transportation, and someone had to get somewhere real fast, so they would ride their horse real hard and fast, and they'd get to where they're going, and the horse would be all wet with sweat, and they just, and of course the horse looked exhausted. That's where the saying comes from. That's the original. That, to me, that's the true meaning of that saying, is that someone looks exhausted. Now, some people can argue, and this is where if your mind is a little bit closer to the gutter, people can say that also means someone with a lot of experience, such as she was, and if you stop to think it, she was rode hard and put up wet. Okay, if your mind is in the gutter, it could go there, and I guess you could also use it to mean that someone's very experienced at something. But that's not the way we used it growing up. It meant that someone looked exhausted. So, now, I wrote down a lot of them. Oh, there's one. Let me hang on. Because I want to mark these off so I don't tell y'all twice. Like I said, I got like 4 or 5 pages of sayings that... Another one I say to my kids a lot, don't make me come over there and slap you silly. And that's usually, it's just, as joking around or something. Like, if they're fixing to have a burping contest at the table, I'll say, don't come over there and make me slap you silly. Okay, now, this one is one I used to say years ago before I met my husband. But I had to quit saying it. Because the saying is, I'm going to beat you like a redheaded stepchild. Which just means you're just going to... My daughter's over there looking at me. She's like...
Oh my God.
And I used to say it all the time, and it just means, you're mad at someone and you want to hurt them. But when I met my husband, he already had a daughter. And he had custody of her. So that I knew that when we married, that she was going to be my stepdaughter. Well, she was a redhead. So I didn't think it'd be smart to use the saying, I'm going to beat you like a redheaded stepdaughter, when I just inherited a redhead stepdaughter. So I quit using that one. Now there's one my mother used to use all the time that, to me it didn't make sense. And I'm trying to give y'all, put these in context so y'all can understand what that means. Because sometimes it's hard to explain, but like if my mom said she was going to do something, and I would say, are you sure you're going to do that? She's, I'm going to do it if it hair lips the governor. Which means she was going to do it come hell or high water, She would say that sometimes. I'll do it come to hell or high water. But she liked the saying, if it hair lips the governor. And I don't know why. I don't know. I would love to investigate and see how that one come about. But I always thought that was a funny one. My dad used to say, now I might have used this once or twice, but my dad used to say all the time, especially with someone, he used this toward politicians a lot, which was funny. He would say, that guy's so crooked, if he swallowed a nail, it'd come out a screw. Which I thought was hilarious. He had a lot of other colorful ones, but my dad didn't like politicians. He would also say he didn't trust him as far as he could throw him. That's another saying. Can't trust something farther than... I can't trust you farther than I can throw you. So, let's see. Oh, just fell off the turnip truck? That means you're not too bright. means you're, means you ride the short bus, in other words. My daughter's over there laughing. Let's see.
You drive me to drink.
Yeah, I tell my kids all the time, you drive me to drink. Oh, it's better to keep your mouth shut and seem like a fool than open it and remove all doubt. That's one grandma. I haven't used that with my kids very often. I did with my youngest. I mean, my oldest, but not with the other two. Because there's a lot of words you got to remember. But my mom liked that one. Just because a chicken has wings don't mean it can fly. That should be obvious just because, you know, I don't know. It's hard to explain what some of these mean, but let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the funny ones. Oh, if you lie down with dogs, you'll get up with fleas. My mom used to say that all the time. It means if you run around, you know, people who are bad people, then it'll rub off on you. I'll be there with bells on. That means you're going somewhere you're excited to get there. Oh, it's another one that I don't use it much up here because it doesn't get as hot up here as in Texas, but I'm sure you Texans I'm sure all the Texas people have heard some of these sayings at least once. But it's hotter than a $2 whore on 4th of July. That's pretty freaking hot. Don't get your panties in a wad. That's another one we use. Okay, explain the road hard and put up wet. Oh, here's another whore one. Nervous as a whore in church. We also have these nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Things are going to hell in a handbasket. That means things are pretty bad. Oh, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. That is a very common, especially with my family, because I don't know if any of y'all have noted that all the flooding that was going around in Texas. I had called my aunt yesterday to make sure she didn't float away, because she was like smack dab in the middle of all that flooding. Luckily, she lives in a trailer house, and luckily the property that she rents is kind of like so that she doesn't flood, thank God. But yeah, there was a lot of flooding. It's a good thing she didn't have a hissy fit about it. That's another one, hissy fit. My mom used to say, you want to see me have a hissy fit? And one time I said, yeah, because I don't know what a hissy fit is. That wasn't funny. She didn't think. This ain't my first rodeo. I think a lot of people say that. Oh, colder than a witch's tit? Now that I use up here. My daughter's looking at me weird. Oh, another one, and I've said this to my kids. All three of my kids more than once, I'm sure. You're getting a little too big for your britches. She's over there laughing because she knows.
True.
Shit or get off the pot. Okay, here's another one. I've used this one with my kids before. I used it with my oldest one. I'm going to tell you the story about my oldest daughter. When she was about 5 years old, I sent her up to her room. I said, you need to get up there. You need to clean your room. And I don't want to see you down here until that room's clean. So she went up there, and she was up there for about an hour and a half. Then she comes downstairs, and I looked at her and I said, is your room clean? She says, yes, Mom, it is. I said, okay. And I was doing something, so I didn't go up and check right away. So it was I don't know, it was a while, less than an hour, but more than half an hour, I guess. I don't know. that I went up there and checked. And I went in there and opened the door, and she hadn't done nothing. I mean, she hadn't touched anything. I think she went up there and just sat on her bed for an hour and a half. So I called her up there and I said, Tina, I thought you told me that you cleaned your room, and look, you didn't do anything. And she turned around and she looked at me with the most serious look on her face. She says, well, I don't like spinach. And then, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Get it? Samantha's over there looking. Alright, now, this is another one. My mom used to say this a lot. I don't quite say it as much. But she used to say that's the pot calling the kettle black. And that means, basically, if I was a smoker, I'm not a smoker. I used to be a smoker. But if I was smoking, and I tell someone you shouldn't be smoking because it's bad for you, then they could look at me and say, well, that's the pot calling the kettle black. That's the pot calling the kettle black. Beat you with an ugly stick. That's one. And happy as a pig and shit. I like that one. Because what can be happier than a pig and shit? I hope that was at least a little bit entertaining. I enjoyed sharing some of those. And if I could think of other ones, like I said, I got a whole slew of them but when you're trying to think of them, you can't. They just pop out when the time is right. Oh, I got another one. Okay. This is a true story, I swear. And if you're... God, my hair is doing something funky. When I first met my husband... when me and my husband were first together... Because we met at the end of June. Me and my husband met at the end of June. At the end of August... we had moved in together, and at the end of November, we had gotten married. So it was like, we met each other, we just knew. It was very rushed. But anyway, when we first met, he was still living with his mom, because his mom was helping him, with his daughter and everything. Because she was just, a little bitty thing. But, my husband's 2 years older than me. And he has a brother that's the same age as me. And he was going to college at the time, and he was still living at home as well. And, of course, they used to tease me, not in a mean way, but, haha, and about my accent and some of the things I would say. My brother-in-law says, I don't understand where y'all got the phrase fixing to. He says, that just doesn't make sense to me. And I said, I can explain to you where it come from. And this is, I swear to God, it's a true story. I told the phrase fixing to comes from... It came about after Texas won its independence from Mexico and became a nation of its own. And it's... Back then, before anyone could do anything, they usually had to fix some sort of, if they had to cut firewood, they usually had to fix their axe first. Or if they had to plow for their garden, they had to fix the plow. Or if they, it's just that there was a lot of things in disrepair, especially after the war and whatnot, that a lot of times, and this was for everyone, so a lot of how it happened is that people would ask, a neighbor would walk by or come by, I don't know how it happened, but they would say, what are you fixing? Because someone was working on something. And they would say, oh, I'm fixing my plow to plow the back 40. So, over time, after everyone kept saying, what are you fixing? People would then shorten and say, well, I'm fixing to plow, which means they're fixing their plow, they were fixing their whatever to plow. So that's where the fixing to, I'm fixing to do something. It was because a lot of times before they could do anything, they had to fix whatever they needed to do. So that's how that came about. And I told my brother-in-law that. And he looked at me and he says, you're bullshitting me. I mean, come on, seriously? I'm like, no, seriously, that's where it comes from. And he's like, no, he swore. He didn't believe me. He thought I was just BSing. And I just, okay, whatever. Well, about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I don't know how long ago, after that, it had to be somewhere between 1998 and 2000. Somewhere in that timeline. He sent me an email, and I don't have the email anymore. And in the email was a article that he had took a picture of and sent me. And I can't remember if it was out of a newspaper or a magazine. I want to say it was out of a newspaper. I think it was like a column. And the column was about the origin of the word fixing to. And lo and behold, it was exactly what I had told him. And he sent it to me, and the only response he put was, "Damn, I guess you weren't BSing me." So, like I said, if you're computer savvy, you might be able to find that column. I don't know. But that's a true story. That's where fixing to comes from. So, alright. Enough of my funny sayings. Like I said, if you got funny sayings that you grew up with that you don't think a whole bunch of people share them, it would be fun. It's funny. Alright. Now I'm going to explain why I haven't gotten this finished. I've been reading. I went on my Nook. My Nook hasn't been charged in a long time. So last weekend, I charged it up and realized, like I said, I like to read series. And realized I had a lot of new books that I had pre-ordered that had come in that I haven't read because I haven't been picking up my Nook. So I read 3 books last week and started a 4th. That's how come I don't have very much stitching on there. So I thought I'd share with you. Not the books I read, because they're like, but the series that I'm reading. Okay? In case y'all want to, just to share. I thought I had this. Well, okay, hang on. Alright, the first series, or the first book I read was called Fire Touched by Patricia Briggs. Now, she has, I think, 3 different series of books out. One of them is set back in, well, it's a kind of like the Tolkien-ish type set back, and I like the modern day ones, the ones set in real time. 2 of her series, one is called the Mercedes Thompson series, and the other one is called, I think, the Omega series. The characters, the main characters in each book are different, but they're part of the same world, which means that some characters that are in one book sometimes show up in another book because they're all in the same world and whatnot. But the one I read is the 9th book in the Mercedes Thompson series. Now, this series, I'm not going to tell you about the book that I read, what it's about. I'm just going to give you kind of an overview of what the series is in case you like it. And I'll tell you what the first book in the series is. The first book in this series is called Moon Called. And it's about this woman. She's a mechanic. She owns a garage. But she is a shifter. She shifts into a coyote. Not a werewolf, but she's a coyote. She's a skin shifter, I think is how they explain it in this book. I mean, it really tells you what she is later on in the series. But anyway. And, I'm trying to think. It's been so long since I've read the first book, I forget exactly how it goes. But basically, she lives in this town where there is a werewolf pack, and her and the alpha werewolf don't get along, and that's kind of funny what she does to irritate him. I'm trying to remember. I hate that I don't remember. I might have to go back and. But anyway, basically.
Can I apply to Famous Footwear? Is that one of my choices I could do?
Is that the one here in Lisbon?
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter's applying for jobs. Did you find out about the Aldi one?
I called them, but their phone doesn't, it sent me to this voice thing where I have to actually email them.
Did you look on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have to email them or go to the store.
All right. Sorry, she wants to get a job in the worst way and start saving money to buy a car. And she doesn't even have her license yet, so.
I will this summer.
Anyway, there's conflict, and the basis of the story is something's going on. She has to figure out what it is and fix it. Kind of like, she's not a private eye or a cop or anything like that, but it's kind of that type. So, and it's a really good series. It's, now, I'm not a prude or anything like that, and I don't mind reading a book that has a couple of sex scenes in it. That's, but I don't like reading a book that feels like,
I was wondering if y'all were hiring.
they have to put it in there to sell the book. I don't like that. I was reading one series before years ago that the first 5 or 6 books were really good and I liked them. Then all of a sudden it's like she started putting so much sex. Every chapter there was a sex scene. It's like, come on, give it a rest. No, this one's very light on it, which I like. So that if you don't like that kind of stuff, this will do. But that was I can't show you the cover of the first book because I got it on my Nook.
Alright.
But that's Patricia Briggs, the first one, Moon Called. This is where you can buy, I think, the first 5 or something. Very good series. I recommend it. My husband is a very picky reader. If he reads this series, he likes it. And if he likes it, then it's good. Trust me. Alright, so that was the first book I read last week. That must be the Mel Lady. Alright, then, and I would tell you will find that my taste tends to lean toward the paranormal or the, I don't want to say sci-fi, and it's kind of fantasy, but set in today's world. It's at the, and I'm all about stitching, by the way, so if you don't want to hear about the books, oh my God. Can you turn so that... Oh, she's probably bringing their bark box. Sorry. Don't open the door while she's there. Loki.
I'm not stupid.
I didn't say you were stupid, I just said don't open the door.
I can't.
Alright. I know. I don't want to sit here and watch me going through my Nook, but I gotta see it to remember it. You gotta know how that is, right? Okay. The next one I read is called A Red Rose, and it is... details. I love my Nook. I think it's the 9th one in a series. I'm trying to find the first one in this series so I can show you. I think this was it. Yes. Okay. This is a series. This is a fun series. I like it too. The first book in the series. Whoops. Sorry. No quick saves. Okay. The first book in the series is Rosemary and Rue, and it's October Day series. Sheena McGreer, I think is her name. Yeah, I can see it there. Okay. This is about a girl who is she's actually a private investigator. And she's half fae. This book is nothing about fae. They don't have werewolves or vampires or witches. Well, no, they don't have witches. It's
Ow, stop.
He's excited their bark box came in.
Pepper. She needs her claws to reach.
Well, you're more than welcome to do it.
You're funny.
Oh, Pepper don't like getting her claws clipped. But anyway. But she's a changeling. She's half fairy, half human. And she's a private investigator, and she's also a knight of one of the courts in the kingdom that they live in. And this is all set in like San Francisco area type over there. Like I said, I just read the 9th book in the series, and it was good. This whole series is good. If you like... Now, see, I started reading these type of books because I like whodunit books, private investigators and, solving some sort of mystery. And I used to read those years ago. But it got to the point where it's like, and they weren't like any kind of supernatural one. Oh, let me see that! Okay, hang on. See what he got in his bark box. He got a little hamburger. And a glove.
Look at that.
Oh, let me see. Okay, you're going to see what my dogs got in their bark box. They got a little bat. I think we're more excited about it than they are. And a glove. Did he get a ball?
No, it's Murray didn't.
A glove and a ball, but no bat? I mean,
Wow.
a glove and a bat, but no ball?
Wow. Where are the scissors?
I don't know where this is. Okay, so now y'all see what my dog got in his bowl. What kind of treats did they get? Like I said, I think we get more excited about the bark box than they do.
Dog biscuits.
If you have dogs and you don't do the bark box, y'all should.
Triple cheese baseball treats.
Ooh, they got triple cheese baseball treats.
And Thinker Duck. For the little stick.
Okay. Alright. So y'all got a bonus. Y'all got to see what was in Loki and Pepper's bark box. Okay, but anyway, I used to read the whodunits, years ago. And it got to the point where I was getting bored with them because it was like they were all different, had different characters and everything, but the formula was pretty much the same in all the books. You know what I mean? It was like I needed something different. And then I found I love the Harry Potter books, and I've read them, and I've seen all the movies. And then I was in the bookstore. I was trying to find something new to read, and I found a series, and on the very first book, it said something about a grown-up Harry Potter or something like that. And I'm like, cool, so I got it, and that's how I got hooked into this genre. And I'll share that series with you later. But anyway, now I lost my train of thought because I went in so many different directions.
My coffee.
Oh good, my son's giving me my Mountain Dew. And we're not going to discuss my diet today. Anyway.
Thank you. Is that your straw?
No, they didn't send one.
What's it? Finish straw. Hey, stop. Give me. I'm going to kick you.
But yeah, this is a very good series. Like I said, each book she's like investigating some sort of either murder or something that happened or something was lost, and it's a really good series. If you like whodunits and you like a little bit of fantasy in the modern, where's my drink in the modern day world? At least it's going to be a long video. Then you'll like this series. And like I said, the first one is Rosemary and Rue. Now, I will tell you, you'll read the first book and you'll like it. Now, the second book, I forget what the second book was called. All the books in this series is good. The one that I liked the least was the second one. It was okay, but it wasn't as good as all the other ones. So, you got to get past that second one and then you'll be doing good. You might like the second one. It was just mine. Alright, so that was the second book I read last week. Now, the third book... No, actually, take that back. I read 2 books in this series that I just told you about because I realized I was a book behind. So I had read, where's it at? The Winter, and then I read The Red Rose. So I've read 2 books in that series. Alright. Now to show you the book I'm reading now. That's 3 books that I've finished. I thought I finished 4. No, I finished 3 and I'm starting the... I'll be surprised if anyone's still watching right now. Hang on, I gotta find it. Okay, here it is. Now, this is a series that I read. The first book came out in 2010. And then she had a second one, and then she had a third one. Then she went like three years where she didn't write on any. And then now, and I think it's because there was like health issues or something. I don't know. But she just recently came out with the 4th one in it. Since it's been so long since I've read the series that I'm rereading it from the first book. And this is the first book. It's called Grave Witch. Alex Craft series by Kaylin Price. Now, this book set in the modern, in the present day, and this is there's fair fae in it, and there's humans who can use magic, hence witches. I don't think it's come across any werewolves and vampires. I don't think there's werewolves and vampires in here. Sorry. That probably sounded gross, but sorry. Anyway, this one is also, she's a private investigator who can use magic. And I'm rereading the first book because it's been so long. I know the gist of it, but I forgot a lot of details. And I want it to be fresh in my mind when I read the new one. Because I don't want it. Because sometimes when you're reading a series, you find out things in the first book. And then by the fifth book, some of the things you find out in the first book are very pertinent to what's in the fifth. Anyway. But she does what they call grave magic. Where she can... she doesn't raise zombies, but she can like raise what she calls a shade, which is basically the collective memories of a dead person. And then you can ask it questions, and supposedly a shade can't lie. And she can see ghosts and whatnot. And she can see death. She can actually see death. He's a guy in a leather jacket or something. I don't know. But she also solves cases and whatnot. And it's a very good book. I'm not giving up too many details because I'm the type of person, if someone's going to tell me a book is good, don't give me too many details. Let me read about it. So, alright, now there's another series, and this is for all you Harry Potter fans out there. And I know there's a lot because I see it in y'all's videos. And if y'all haven't found this series yet, hang on, then you must be living under a rock. No, I'm teasing. And this was the series that got me started on this genre. Oh, okay, now like I said, I read... Oops, I passed it. I've read the Harry Potter. I've just been disowned now by all the Harry Potter fans. Okay, I read the Harry Potter series, and I enjoyed it. It was a great series. I loved it. And trying to find the first book in the series. And so when I was in the bookstore one time, this is back when I used to actually buy books before I got my Nook. Now I just put everything on my Nook. Oh, man. Okay, well his first book's not available, I guess, on my Nook. So I'll show you the second book. But I'll tell you what the first book is, because I know. Alright. If you haven't heard of the author Jim Butcher and the Dresden Files, then, okay, you've got to read these books. The first book is called Stormfront. Okay, now this is the second book, Full Moon. I think it's the second. It's the second or third. Full Moon. Now, what got me onto these books is because when I was in the bookstore, and they had it so that you could see the cover, and it said on there, you know, a grown-up Harry Potter or something like that. And I thought, oh, so that's why I bought it, and it was Stormfront. I love this series. Now, I will tell you that he is a private investigator and he solves mysteries and whatnot. Who is it?
I don't know. The Virginia number.
But some of his books can get, I don't want to say, like in his first book in Stormfront, he goes to a crime scene because he also does, you know, the one of the police officers or detectives uses him as a consultant, and they go to a crime scene, and the crime scene is, I mean, they describe the crime scene, and it's gory. So just to let you know, now some of the other books that I've told you about, they're not quite as gory, But this one, in some of his books, he can get pretty. He's a very good author. He writes. I love the way he writes. And if you talk to anyone else who read these books, I'm sure my husband loves these books. But his name is Harry in the book. The main character is Harry. Wonderful series. If you like like I said, you Harry Potter fans, if you're ready for a grown-up Harry, check these books out. They're great. The first one is Stormfront, and it's by Jim Butcher. Now, he has another series that he does that is more, I call it tokenish type, because it's like in a fantasy world where the Dresden Files is set in present day. So, alright, that's all the books I'm going to tell you about. I mean, I could sit here and I could actually go on for hours about books, because I'm just as passionate about my books as I am about my cross stitch. And I can remember back in the day, this is back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Barnes & Noble had a they had boards where you can go in, and they had boards for people who like mysteries and boards people who like biographies, and they had the paranormal boards for the books like this. And I was like a super active member of that community, and would go on and would talk about the different books and stuff, and I loved it. They've gone away. They don't do it no more. They got rid of it years ago, which made me cry, because I had met a lot of people on there and this is before I was on Facebook. Met a lot of people on there that I liked, and we shared the same passion for books, and they just did away with it. Damn Barnes & Noble. But anyway. But yeah, I'm very passionate about my books, and as you can tell, I mean, it's almost an hour, and I think only 20 minutes of it was cross-stitch, and well, I did probably about 10-15 minutes of the same, so, alright. But if you like those type of books, check them out. You'll love them, and I think what I'm going to do, because I've been reading quite a bit, and I don't think, I've had a lot of books, I got behind on my reading, so I got a lot of catching up to do, so I'm thinking about at the end of my videos after I do all the cross-stitch stuff, so if you don't want to hear about my books, you don't have to. I'll tell you about what I'm reading. And if you don't want to hear it, oh well. It's my channel, I'll do what the hell I want. Sorry about that. I'm not going to talk about what I ate because... Okay, I'll talk about what I ate. Since I did my video last Thursday. We had Chinese one day. I made omelets one day, so that was good. Chinese was okay because, there's a lot of vegetables in Chinese. I mean, there was rice, but I didn't eat a whole lot of rice. Well, I did. I'm lying to you. I love fried rice. And yesterday it was Molly's fault, because after the thread store, we went to Burger King. It's your fault, Molly. No, I'm teasing. So... Today I'm having chicken, though. I don't know what I'm going to have with it. I have to figure that out. I didn't write a menu up this week. So. And several people asked about my recipe. And they actually asked about my recipe, too. For the bean salad... I posted a link to it in someone's comment on that video. So if you go back and look through the comments, you'll see the link. It goes to, I can't remember the lady. She used to have a show on Food Network. Semi-homemade. It's that lady. So, now, I will tell you that when I make that recipe, I do a couple of modifications. Number one, it tells you to serve it on a lettuce wrap. Or on a bowl lettuce. I don't do that. That's the first change. Second change I make is that instead of using, it calls for green bell peppers, I prefer using the red, the yellow, and the orange to make it colorful. And I make the dressing like the recipe says, but there have been occasions when when I've been too lazy, and I just use There's a salad dressing out there that's roasted red peppers in olive oil. I'll use that sometimes. But it's good. Try it. You'll like it. Alright, well I guess that's it for now. I gotta go finish my snowman. Because I've been reading. Is there anything else? Nope, that's it. Alright, until next time. Bye.